Just nobody there. He was asking about a play that the guy picked up. That was handy. Yeah. Oh, that was good.
Correct? I was correct with the newspaper?
Ready, Mike? Correct.
Ready.
Okay.
Okay, this is the pre-council meeting for June 3rd, 2019, chaired by Mayor Bob Odekirk. Krista?
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Odekirk.
Here.
Councilman Dickinson.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman Morris. Absent. Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
There are no presentations this evening. So first is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none, we'll pass it to the city manager to discuss tomorrow night's action items.
Thank you. I'll run through the agenda for not just action items, the whole agenda. I'm going to run through the agenda for tomorrow. CTIS, Public Safety, Public Service, and Stadium Committees will all provide their reports. There are 4 items on the consent agenda: approval of minutes, position vacancies, 2018 annual treasurer report, which provides actually a very concise summary of 2018. And the 4th thing is, with respect to a previously approved budget amendment, additional funds for roadways, a resurfacing reconstruction list. Under license and permit applications, there's one request to hold a carnival by the Park District for the Taste of Joliet, to have a carnival similar to past years, and there are 4 liquor licensing matters on the agenda, so I'm going to turn it over to Chris Regis to discuss the liquor license applications.
Hello, everyone. The first one, we can see 290-19. That's the application for a Class B license. We had that hearing almost a year ago on June 13, 2018. The public hearing was held, and at Cinemark at the mall wants to begin service of drinks during their movie theater. They've done an extensive renovation that will put them on par with any theater in the area, because it is commonly done at area theaters. Are there any questions about that? 291-19, a hearing was held on April 24th, 2019 for a liquor license for the Taps Tips Smokehouse. It's a barbecue place opening in the 3000 block of Theodore Street. They would like a Class B license for liquor service. They are here tonight if there are any questions. 292-19, that's issuance of a Class B liquor license. Now, that's a transfer. That's an existing liquor establishment at 1101 North Hickory Street. That's a transfer that's been approved. There was a hearing on April 24th, 2019. They are also here if there are any questions for them. Moving on, the Class E liquor license, that's a restaurant for the Cajun Boil at 3340 Mall Loop Drive. So the mall, a hearing was held on April 24th, 2019, and they are also here if there are any questions for them. Thank you very much, everyone.
Under public hearings, there's one public hearing, the rezoning of just over 331 acres located south of Millsdale Road along Bridge, Noel, and Bush Roads from R1B and R4 to I1 light industrial zoning, and also a resolution approving a development agreement with P&I Joliet LLC and Route 53 Joliet Inc. There is a concept plan attached, but there is no known development interest at this time. And just so the council is aware, the city would require extension of Breen Road to the west of 53. Right now there's not a road there. This would access the site and not use roads currently utilized as residential. For your information, the Smith Farm, which is roughly at the southeast corner of the subject site, was zoned I-1 in 2017. The Plan Commission meeting recommended approval earlier this year, and the applicant and their attorney are both present tonight, and I believe they're also going to be here tomorrow if there are any questions that I can answer.
Sure. Mike Martin, attorney for the applicant, and with me is also Rod Tonelli. My clients own the property since 2004, and we were the Cedar Creek development. We bought over 900 acres down there. Some of it was east and west of Route 53. We have tried to market this property for more than 15 years now for residential development. P&I is Pasquinelli, Novagroder, and Eisenstein. Anthony Pasquinelli's been involved in residential development for, well more than 50 years in Illinois. He's done hundreds of subdivisions, has developed land in more than 14 states. We cannot sell this property as residential development. We have done everything we can. No one is interested in coming to develop this property, or approximately 2,800 residential units. So after the Smith Farm was annexed and zoned I-1, which basically is our frontage along Route 53, we're now surrounded by Center Point, the Smith Farm, and at Green Road where we would intersect, Cavalier was rezoned to I-1, and Joliet Logistics, 207 acres, is also I-1. So the major entrance into the subdivision is through million-square-foot warehouses, 2 planned, 1 built, and we really see this, the only use for this property or anyone interested in buying it would be for I-1. And we've approached the Smiths, we've approached Union Pacific. They'll give us a railroad spur. We plan to market, if we can, with the Smith Farm and try through the Union Pacific to attract some use, such as a major manufacturer, that would be interested in bringing jobs and revenue to the city. The development agreement, the way that's phrased, is everything has to come back to you. So any developer that would come in here with a proposal, it's a planned unit development. You get to take another look at the proposal. We put all of the screening requirements on from the Smith Farm that you had developed, and we're continuing them. But again, you get to take a new look at it. If there's something else that comes up that you think that you would need to impose in the future, that's what you'd be able to impose it under the development agreement. I could go on and on. I wrote you a long letter, but I'll stop, and maybe if there are questions, Rod has developed the site plan, and he can answer those questions perhaps better than I.
Mayor, I do have a couple questions.
Yes.
Okay, you said you met with Union Pacific, and who else did you meet with?
We've met both with the Union Pacific and with the Smith Farm.
Okay,
We
but-
talked about trying to market
But
it.
have you met with the neighbors that live there in Cedar Creek?
Oh, I went and had a public meeting down at the Legion Hall in October, the neighbor meeting, and it
With all the Cedar Creek neighbors?
yes, and they were all invited, and they were very hostile.
Well, can you
They were
blame
not
them?
interested in knowing or negotiating, anything. Basically, at one point after, I guess you can only get sworn at so many times. At one point, after one gentleman threw all these papers in the air, the meeting ended. We lasted about an hour. Some people like Paul Buss and somebody called later to apologize. I'm.
Well, he doesn't live in Joliet, I don't
Pardon me?
believe. I don't believe Mr. Buss lives in Joliet.
No, but, they.
Well, the people that live in Cedar Creek do live in Joliet. Those are our residents.
That's correct, and we developed it. We sold part of Cedar Creek to our own building company. Our own building company was taken down in the recession, and First Midwest Bank acquired about 77 lots. We own the balance of the lots. We can't sell those.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but then they can't sell their homes either. They're stuck.
Mr. Marth, you speak into the microphone, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting away.
So they're kind of stuck. They have all their investment in their home,
Right.
and now you want to make industrial all around. So what are you going to do to help those neighbors? Can you get the person that's going to come in there and buy their properties?
Well,
Because they can't live there surrounded by industrial.
we are well set back from them. Maybe Rod could show on.
I'm sorry, I don't agree, okay? I know, I understand your problem, but your company and you're the attorney representing the company, I understand that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's all fine and well for the company, but you have these people in good faith that were told this was going to be built out, single-family homes, and they liked the area. They knew, Center Point was there at the time, and then the economy bust, and then the building stopped. And I've been in that subdivision several times, and trucks go in and out of there. There's always a complaint that they're driving all over the place. It's not even a safe place for these folks to live, and they'll never get the money that they put into those homes. So, I don't know what to say. It's a catch-22, really, and my heart goes out to our residents that live there, that put a lot of money into their dream homes, and now they're stuck, surrounded by industrial. So the only thing I would think to do, or would be the right thing to do, is get somebody in there to buy them all out too, so they can move on to their new dream homes.
Well, there's no access from our development to either Millsdale. Bridge Road is planned to be closed, so all of
Kinda
our
stuck.
access is to Breen Road, to Route 53. So there's no access to any of those surrounding streets. Our setback is substantial.
I understand, you can put everything in it, but if a truck wants to go where they want to go, that's where they're going to go. And with all the roads that lead to Center Point, they still go in their neighborhood. It's not a very
There
good,
won't be a road leading to us.
it's not a very good
I'm not trying to argue
setup
that
or
there won't be a
conditions.
road.
But I'm just letting you know how I feel. I can't speak for the rest of the council, but those are Joliet residents, and we need to look after them.
Well, we don't have yet the buyer coming in with the project. And you will have an opportunity again, if we get to that stage, before there's a closing on it, if there's an impact from what this development may be, to maybe say, no, we want to see if there's something that you can do to go by these residents who we think are affected, just like you did with Center Point. So.
Well, we do have a little more leeway here, because I know we did help some of the residents down there over there on, I can't think of the name of the road right now, but where the bridge is going to go in, we did help a lot of those folks over there, even though they weren't Joliet residents, just to be good neighbor. But these are our residents, and Mayor, if we do have some type of control.
I think you meant Better Road?
Yeah,
Better Road, thank you,
yeah,
Better
I
Road.
represented
If we do have some type of control over this, I think we need to help these folks, because if you ever drove out there, you have 4 houses here, and then you got a house way over there, empty lot, and then you got a nice little block, and you can see where it's not built out, and you know it's never going to get built out, and no one's going to buy there. So I think we owe it to those residents that purchased in good faith, which thought it was always going to be single family around them.
Well, it's not a point that's foreclosed if we can get the zoning, and, because we can't market the residential with an I-1 zoning with the
No, I
railroad
understand,
state.
but I think there's something that could be worked out.
Yeah. Well, I'm
For the
just
future.
suggesting it might be better when we actually have somebody saying, this is what I want to put there, and here's the impact. So that,
Here's what you have to do to get it.
yes. And
That's
that's
what I'm
something you
saying.
could, that's what you can do.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
just wanted you to be clear where I stand on this.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Questions, comments? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, there are no ordinances or resolutions. Council Memo 297-19, a resolution authorizing execution of a pre-development agreement with 26 West Clinton Street Building LLC. This is the property commonly known as the Hotel Plaza, located immediately south of the library in downtown. This pre-development agreement is in part for a feasibility study with a 50-50 split, which is an eligible TIF expense. This is the first step to identify costs and design elements with respect to an overall redevelopment of the property. Council Memo 298-19, resolution approving intergovernmental agreement with the State of Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity Tourism Capital Grant Old Joliet Prison West. This $250,000 grant does require a $250,000 match. So as part of the $250,000 match, in-kind donations, labor expenses are included, as well as funds raised through the Joliet Area Historical Museum prison programming, and right now there's approximately $100,000 available on that. The monies would be spent on the following: proposed creation of a visitor center, That's the building immediately outside of the prison walls to the north. Interpretive signage, and the existing signage really needs some updating and to be fixed, and exterior lighting.
Can we get some more details on the matching fund requirements?
Sure. I'm going to turn that point over to Derek.
Hello, yeah, so the matching requirement from the city, the good news is that half of that could be contributed by in-kind donation. So that would be $125,000 coming from in-kind donation. Also, that also includes things that are retroactive. So everything from January of this year, that would also count towards that $125,000. Talking to the museum, they think that they'll get to that number fairly quickly if they haven't already. Remember that we did just do a trades day about 30 days ago. So all that labor that was an in-kind donation, that will count. The museum and the city have been working together in order to document all the work that's been done there. That means who's been there, what work they've been doing, how many hours. That's all been documented and put into a formula, essentially, that will be submitted to the state. The remaining match that would actually not be due till a later date, that would be $125,000 that would be coming from our restricted prison fund. So that's the money that is raised from prison events already. So when we do the Great Prison Break-In or the prison tours, that money is then reinvested back into the prison, and it would go towards this matching grant.
Is it already earmarked to reinvest back in the prison, being that it was a prison fundraiser?
Yeah. Yes, and that's what we're doing by putting that money towards these projects. Essentially, the project that you see at the spa building, the signage and the lighting, we are now taking opportunity, leveraging those funds to gain more dollars from the state grant in order to put back into the prison. So we're taking this $250,000 or so that would be from the city or from what we've already raised, and we're leveraging it to gain another $250,000 from the grant from the tourism office at the state.
Thank you, Derek.
The next two items are appropriation.
Mayor, one other question. Was there a 296 that's missing? Or did we remove something I'm unaware? We went from 295 to 297 on the memos.
There was no 296. We generally will skip if things are added at the last minute. Sometimes we
Okay.
leave spots between
Thank you,
sections.
Krista.
The next two items are appropriation of motor fuel tax funds for the Logan Avenue and Chicago Street roadway projects. The Chicago Street roadway project does include the adjacent parking lot for the transfer to the county per the IGA with the county previously approved. So they are Council Memo 299-19 and 300-19. Council Memo 301-19, resolution authorizing participation in the Southwest Water Planning Group. The Southwest Water Planning Group, who have joined together to contract with the Illinois State Water Survey to complete a 3-year comprehensive regional groundwater study. This additional data will help guide future water supply planning decisions. Under bids and contracts, these were reviewed by Public Service Committee, who will report on any issues tomorrow. There is one item, though, I do want to highlight, which is an unfortunate item. It's been a topic of discussion the past number of years. That's the purchase of ballistics gear for our fire department. So I've personally attended seminars over the past year, and one of the items identified is getting to victims sooner rather than later saves lives. So this will assist with that, and the Joliet Fire Department Foreign Fire Tax Board has agreed to split the cost with the city. And that's all I have.
Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening? Seeing none. We did receive a request for closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition, or conveyance pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned?
So moved.
Motion seconded to approve. Councilman Dickinson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
I would just like to note that we finished the meeting in 20 minutes now that I'm back from Vegas. It took you guys over an hour and a half when I was gone.
Wait till tomorrow.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrid?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
It's because we didn't have you to talk about, Larry. Aye.
There you go.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Motion carried.